Hey everyone, it is Devin from Maniology, and today we have something very exciting. We're going to be discussing the launch of our new Fairy Tales collection. Look at all the pretty colors. So there are a total of 6 new colors. As you can see, they are so sparkly and shimmery. There are 2 types of shimmer pigments inside these. So one that you guys can all pretty clearly see is the iridescent holographic sparkles, but there also is like a pearl finish on some of these. So I don't know if you guys can tell, it's like got a double finish going on. So for example, especially in this blue, I think it's clear. You can see that we have holographic pigment, but when I move the polish bottle around, you also see like a pink shine. That's because it's a dual shimmer polish. And also this color as well, which is called Toadstool, and it has a gorgeous kind of gold shimmer to it on top of the holographic pigment. And it's kind of like a peachy color, I'd say, in comparison to Pixie, which is a lot more pink. So Pixie is more pink, and I'd say the second shimmer inside it kind of gives off more of a pink finish. And then I think my favorite out of the entire collection is Wishing Well. It's got like gold shimmer, and then you see all of the holographic sparkles. And then also this is Firefly. Yeah, these are not created for stamping polish. These are specifically regular polishes. So the application method is apply your base coat, and then you apply 2 coats of polish after. So let's get started swatching. So our very first color is going to be Firefly. Again, this is a really pretty, like kind of burnt orange. And I'm just using a nail tip that is from Kiss. I think it's like a Kiss press-on nail tip for this. And before I use my polish, I highly recommend, especially when you're working with polishes that have shimmers or glitters, just kind of roll it in your hands like this to shake up the pigments. You don't necessarily want to like do this motion because that will cause bubbles inside your polish. So instead, just put them between your fingers and go like this really fast. And there's also a little metal ball in here to help stir up the pigments. Especially when you're first getting them, or if they've been sitting for a while, you want to make sure that you do that so you get an even distribution of all the shimmer inside there. If not, all the glitter and pigments will settle to the bottom. And this is our very first coat. So you can see there's a lot of sparkle. Then we're gonna move to our next polish. Our second color is going to be Toadstool, which is P107. And I'm gonna just shake this up. Go ahead and do one healthy coat. So the other really cool thing about these polishes is the fact that they work fabulously for creating gradients. And you wouldn't even need to use a sponge to create the gradient. You could probably just do like a very simple ombre at the tip of the nail. And I've tried it, and it actually looks really pretty because they kind of have a more sheer finish. Our next color is going to be Pixie. And again, Pixie is kind of like a more peachy pink color in comparison to Toadstool. And our next color is going to be Wishing Well, which is my favorite color in the entire collection. It's such a pretty purple. Oh, there we go. Sorry. Thought I was swatching on camera. And our next color is going to be Dewdrop, which is P1110. This is so pretty. Do you see that strong blue and pink sparkle? The last color is Clover. Now we're gonna go back to the top and do a second coat of Firefly. And at the end, we'll look at all the swatches up close. So pretty. So we're applying our second coat of Toadstool. Isn't that pretty? And this is our second coat of Pixie. So the next color is Wishing Well. Wow, this color is so pretty. Especially like looking at it up close on camera, I'm like, wow, so sparkly. And then the last color of the collection is going to be our Pretty Clover. So you can take, I'm gonna bring this really, really close so you guys can see. Look at all the shimmer. So this is Toadstool. Whoops. And then Clover. Do you guys have a favorite? So these polishes are not for stamping. These are regular polishes and they will need 2 coats. Unless you're trying to do specific techniques, then you can do other things. Actually, let me see. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna show you something that you can do with these polishes. So the cool thing about these polishes is the fact that they are semi-sheer a little bit, and you can build the coverage if you want. So if you want like a super shimmer, you could do that with 2 coats. Or if you're trying to go for like a more subtle effect, you could just apply 1 coat. So it almost creates like a negative space kind of base. Or if you want, and this works really well with a color like Pixie, you could actually do a pretty easy gradient. And you'll also be able to tell the difference between our stamping polishes and our regular polishes because look at the bottles. You know, these are stamping polishes on top of the fact that it says stamping art polish. The cap is very different and the bottles are very different, so you guys will clearly know if you've got a regular polish. And also it says that this is nail lacquer. So if you are using a color like Pixie, you would just do a little bit on the brush like this, and then you could just start doing a gradient. Because the color is like a semi-sheer finish, you could create a really subtle gradient, and then you'd wait for this to dry, and then you'd go back over halfway of the area that you had already polished. So I think I want to apply a top coat on this so you guys can see how shimmery it is. And I am going to be using the Speed Dry top coat because I want you guys to be able to see this really high shine glossy finish, and we're going to do that while we wait for our one coat of Pixie to dry, so that way I can show you guys how to create really cool gradient. Okay, so let's try going back to our dried Pixie. And then you're just gonna go halfway. And you can already see that a gradient's starting to form. I recommend waiting between layers. I'm gonna see if I can just try and rush this out so that way you guys can see it. But usually I'd recommend waiting in between layers, because if you end up trying to rush it, the chances of you removing that wet layer of polish is higher than you putting on a fresh layer of polish, but today I was kind of lucky. So you can already see that I've kind of created a very soft, subtle gradient. And so that's the cool thing about these regular polish formula, is that because the formula is a little bit more sheer, you can create these super awesome effects. Because usually you can't create effects like this. For example, with stamping polish, it's very, very difficult to do so. So that's the fun part with working with regular polish. Oh, and let me just put top coat on that last tip so that way you guys can see it completely done up. There you go. This is the entire collection from the Fairy Tales collection. I'm sure paired with stamping, it is going to look fabulous. And remember to mention us and hashtag us, because we do check those daily. And we love seeing your creations. It really, really does bring us a lot of joy. Also, you guys give us some really cool ideas for products and different things. So again, we like seeing what you create. Make sure you are constantly sharing that with us, because we want to see your nail journey. That's what Maniology is all about. And yeah, hope you guys have an amazing week. Talk to you later. Bye.